Hey, I am back. I have not uploaded in a hot minute, especially Pokemon content. Real quick before I get into the video, just want to say I'm probably taking a break from the card game content for a while. Not sure how long. Just kind of not really feeling like making a lot of content. Just hasn't been. I've enjoyed playing, but I just have not been really doing anything like special with it right now. Maybe when events start to come back, or anything crazy happens, then I'll probably discuss it. But just kind of taking a break from it. And as far as Digimon goes, I'm probably leaving that game sometime soon. Like a new set just came out, and I just haven't really been playing it, and haven't really been like. It's a fun game, but it's not really like mechanically something that feels like super viable at the top level consistently. So I don't really want to invest in it too heavily. Real quick. But now, yeah, so let's get into what is going on here, and this is going to be, so I made a preliminary tier list for the upcoming BBL Season 5, Basic Battle League Season 5. And we should be on draftleague.nl this next season, working on getting that set up. So what we're doing is we're tiering. I forget what we're basing it off of, but basically it'll be point tiers. I think we said probably around 120. We haven't came up with a definite point system. Um, I think we'll probably go maybe like a bit lower or a bit higher. Not quite sure, depending on how we're gonna restrict it. But yeah, so it ranges from 1 to 20 points. There's Pokemon in each tier. Uh, in this kind of preliminary list, I've kind of just grouped Pokemon in tiers and like would, if we like it, we'll just go from there and kind of adjust it. But yeah, and I'll just kind of like do a quick rundown from the lower tiers and kind of go upwards. And then of course, let me just talk about what we decided on voting. So we're doing a Ubers tier. So we're not allowing like all of the Uber Pokemon, the Ubers, but we're allowing some of the lesser used ones, and we're also going to be allowing a lot of the OU and below Pokemon that typically have some restrictions, and kind of allow them up. And this is also going to be Natdex. We have decided to ban Z Crystals and Z Moves, which was a bit surprising, but also not so surprising was we banned Gigantamax. And we only allow dry pass, so you can only dry pass with baton pass. You can't pass stats. We actually banned hidden power. To my surprise, I think it actually makes some Pokemon like far better because it makes it harder for them to be just checked and makes it easier for them to switch into stuff. And then of course we also banned. Well, it looks like we're allowing pursuit. It's pretty close. We're gonna have to like kind of ask some people to vote that have not voted. So that'll definitely affect a bit of placing on the tier lists. I thought we were going to vote on return and what's the move called? Frustration. But it seems we have not. So that'll actually change up like at least one Pokemon that I tiered. You'll see it when I get to it. But quick rundown of the 3 through the 1. So we have Boom. These aren't in any particular order, by the way. I just kind of lumped them in because they were like mostly by dex number, but not entirely. So we hit only. Fast Spinner can do some unburdened stuff, but ultimately not super strong. Gamescom kind of trash. Fat but trash. Marowak strong, but doesn't really have good coverage. For trash, not really doing much. Not really doing much. Not too much. Carbink not bad, but it just kind of does one thing, and that's about it. Uh, Maybe it'll be a bait for some teams to like bait in a dragon type or a Pokemon with steel move and kind of kill like maybe a Hydreigon or something. But beyond that, yeah, nothing. Lantern, decent Volt turn action, but like not really clever. Nothing. Webs, that's about it. Nothing. Screens, that's about it. Leech Seed. Cycler Carry, nothing. Spinner with bulk, which is good, but there's better fighting types. It'd probably be closer to 4 points. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it. Unburn, that's nothing. Kind of nothing for a lot of these Pokemon. Xatu is a Pokemon who could be 4 or 5 points, but I kind of just haven't done here because outside of Magic Bounce, it doesn't really have good bulk. Rock Setter, kind of a lot of garbage. On aware, but that's nothing. Tauros is fast, but it doesn't really hit quite hard enough. It has decent coverage, but again, doesn't really hit hard enough and have the bulk to kind of last up with stuff. Believe Macargo gets Shell Smash, but that's not really much for that Pokemon. But Pharaoh, nothing really for that. Like I said, so you see some rockers. We have the overachieving Blossom here. It'd probably be just 3 points. There's not going to be a lot for it to wall outside of maybe a ground type. Speaking of ground type, Sandslash. Again, you know, not bad strength, not bad bulk, but not really good coverage. Grand Bull I kind of like, but it's not going to do much. Strong Zangoose, but you know, only getting a 25% boost versus the 50% boost from Guts is not very good, and it has to be a toxic boost, not a flame boost. It's not really gonna do a whole lot. Got a Dragon Dance user, that's about it. Spinner, bulky spinner without recovery. Gigas, strong, could be like a decent scarf, like bulk, like just value attacker with Cranidos, but that's about it. Samrock, kind of like bulky, could be SD user, but it's not really going to break through much because it doesn't really have the coverage. I put the monkeys down here, the semis, they could be, you know, 4 points, but I forget if they even get U-turn or not. If they do, that could make the make or break. Floatzel, not really super great, but could be a value water type. Or Frost down here, kind of more value. Could be 4 points, honestly. I think like all the Rotoms could be, except for a regular Rotom, could be 4 points at least. But it's just it's a very bottom tier for usual reasons. This could maybe be 4 points, Dusclops, but not quite sure. And yeah, that kind of runs down through these. Primeape is 3, could be 4, but it's like it's not really gonna break through a whole lot with anything. Then we go to 4, we have not Grookey, Thwacky. Train setter, not bad strength. Can be an SD user, but like not enough bulk or attack to really put a huge sense of teams. You know, strong, kind of speedy, but kind of not strong enough to break through stuff, and kind of weak, like frail. Decent U-turn option with Reboot, and can be a Flare Blitz user with decent power from its because it's only like 85 attack. That's about what it. Strong, frail, not too strong. Kind of more of a stealth rock user, just more of a stall user, knockoff user. And then you have like maybe a few setup mons, terrain mon, and then some bulk. Kind of like a lot of mons that are maybe super strong, but not really too strong enough to break through everything and live hits. How am I forgetting this name? No, whatever. The dragon from Gen 6, the fossil dragon, Tyrantrum? Tyrantrum. You know, good value for Dragonette's user or a banded user. Not that fast though, and it's deceptively not that bulky. Then you have just like a Shell Smash user. Most Shell Smash users will be past the 1 through 3, unless they're like that bad. Cobalion. I think Cobalion's like could be like 7 points, but that's just because it's like a stealth rock user that's kind of fat. That's about it. Boufflant definitely better, I'd say, than Tauros. Like, yeah, Tauros is faster, but Boufflant just hits that much harder. Doesn't take enough recoil from head charge. I think it's, you know, it's definitely worth being up here than down there. Trash bag, good spike and toxic spike user. Aftermath and bulk isn't bad, and can you know, absorb T spikes. Anything note over here? Avalug, kind of bulky. Frostlass, good spike user. It has a lot more to do with like Poltergeist. Now a Reggie. I actually put Golem here. It could be 3 points to be honest, but I think it's kind of cool just to have it back with its attack and defense. Like its typing's not good and its special attack is garbage, but like it could be a sturdy rocker or a like an explosion sturdy one. More Reggies that I think are kind of like okay. I believe I put Gorbis up. No, Huntail up here because I believe it's a Shell Smash shooter while Gorbis isn't. If Gorbis has Shell Smash too, or if they both do, or whatever, it would be up here. Some funny types that we'll see here, like Polywrath, it can be a good weather abuser or a water check against, like, say, some rain. And it actually has a physical, like a better physical move slot now with like better fighting type moves. Hariyama, fat, thick fat's good actually in a lot of cases. And it's not greatest defenses, but good enough HP set to make it kind of balance out. Metacham, not really fast, but strong enough, and plus you could slap a choice band on it just to be like a high jump kick easier against a team that just does not have a ghost type. Actually put see if I can remember its name. Vivillon up here because I believe it's a little bit faster than a lot of the other Quiver Dance users that are like kind of bug flying. Excuse me. It has, I believe it's tinted lens, so it's like tinted. I believe it could be a tinted lens Hurricane user and a tinted lens Sleep Powder user, which is good. Talonflame, I think it's like okay enough down here, like not too terrible to be down to 3-1. Same for the right shoes. Exploud doesn't really do a whole lot, but I think too good to be down there. Probably around 4 or 5 points. Same for Magmortar and Electivire. Druddigon, being Mold Breaker means it can set up rocks against, Magic Bounce users, which is good. It can Toxic Magic Bounce users and Glare stuff. Swellow can be a Guts physical attack user or a Boom Burst user on Scrappy. Pretty underrated. The best of the Hitmons, I'd say, for Hitmontop, just because of its bulk and its spinner. It's probably the best spinner of them. Celebi down here. We actually have even more budget Celebi down here with Calyrex. No one really much of note. Shell Smash user. Diancie, just better Carbink. The Season 2 MVP, Mudsdale up down here. Good attack, good bulk, but not really a lot of coverage. Typhlosion, my boy Vileplume. By the way, I'm not playing this season, so it means I don't really have to worry about, like, oh, am I going to draft this one? How should I tier it? Or think about it? Whereas I never really over or under tiered, like, hey, I'm going to be trying to play this, so I'm going to try to, like, lobby for it to be lower tier. No, I'll lobby for a Pokemon to be higher tier than others say, and I'm still planning to draft it, because I'm like, yeah, this Pokemon might be a bit of an issue. Right on, it's really good, really fat, just not going to be used a lot. Like in Rock, Aerodactyl, good. It could be maybe 7 points. But fast stealth rock user, not a great move pool to make use of anything. But it's there. I believe it has dual wing beat now, so that'll actually matter for Mega. Yeah, nothing much else to say down here. So then we have another Shell Smash user on Blastoise, not bad. We have the terrain users. I think they're probably around like 7, 8, maybe 9 points. But I think they're worth being separated just because one's fatter, one's faster and stronger. So, that could actually make a difference. So I could see them being like 1 point separate because of that. Deblade, good setup mon. Beware, it's a mon that in some games it could wreck an opponent, in other games it could do nothing. So like I think it's kind of like right to be up here. Taserface, strong, but if your opponent has like a ground type, it doesn't really do anything because it's rocks, electric. Anyone else of note? Embor, very, very strong. Usually a really good choice band or choice scarf user, but like not enough coverage to break through enough, and like it's good, but not like that good. I actually have Arcanine down here where it could be maybe at 11 or 12, but I just kind of think maybe 10 is actually better ceiling. Just because I feel like it doesn't do a whole lot whenever it's used in draft. Like it feels like it's easier to play around than a lot of other bulky mons, maybe because it's fire type versus on the ladder when it's maybe a bit harder to play with around it. Rotom. I actually have Nidoqueen down here, Nidoking up here. I think Nidoqueen would be like 10 and Nidoking would be like 12 points. Maybe she could be 11, but like she's fatter, but she's not as fast or strong, so like you kind of have that give and take. And I think that kind of like in draft, sometimes you want fast, sometimes you want speed, and I think when we're relying more, I feel like you maybe want a little bit more speed to keep up. Fortress, just bulky spinner rocker, could be 6 points, could be 8 points, who knows. Heracross probably around 8-9. Shuckle probably around 7-8. This thing could, for Alligator, could be 11 just because it's a Dragon Dance or a Sword Dance user, but you know I think 10 points is kind of like its thing because it doesn't have the greatest coverage. Magna sounds good. Kind of feel like it's around 10. Good webs, probably around 9-10. So okay, megas. We're allowing megas. I'm not sure how our rule is going to be. I imagine it'll be you can draft up to 1 mega on your team, but you probably won't be required to. That's my imagination for that. But yeah, so we're gonna have. So I put this one down here just because like it'd probably be closer to 12 points. Like maybe we shouldn't put 2 of them too low, but I just kind of put it down here. Just because I feel like it's strong. It has SD, but it also doesn't have the greatest of coverage to break through enough. Hoopa, you know, high special attack, but not great coverage or typing to break through enough. Successful like Shadow Sneak stuff. It's Sucker Punch. Mega Bomb Snow, you know, I think it's probably around 7-8. Kind of strong, but you know, fire types and fighting types and steel types kind of just wreck it most of the time, and you know, what to do. Polion from the seed back, probably around 10 points, maybe 11. Toss it up there. What's its name? Bayonet. You know, strong, but doesn't really do a whole lot. It's like I don't think it was in this. I don't think it came out in Gen 8, or I don't think it's in Gen 8. So I don't think it has Poltergeist, which it would love. Also, actually, I'm not sure how Poltergeist works with Megastone, so we'll have to kind of test that out on Natdex, how that works. Vaporeon, kind of bulky and good. Tentacruel, probably around 10 points, 9 points. Muck, fat, not as good as Muck, but it's a little underrated, I think. Shell Smash user, but it's not. It's a bit easier to wall it now. Remember when these two were like considered broken? And now people are just like, yeah, they're not quite as good because, like, obviously, I kind of miss that meta though, where like these things were like a threat and you had to play around them. It was fun. Then we go into 14 to 11. So that's actually gonna be 4 different points to kind of go through. Mega Ampharos probably around 12 points or so. You know, strong but slow, but Dragon type's good. Mega Steelix, it's more just fatter Steelix, which is insanely good wall against most fighting types. And it can live special moves a bit easier. You know, really good attack stat, but that's kind of about it. Mega Glalie, you know, can be a good boomer, and since it should have return and frustration, it makes that viable for it versus having to run, say, Body Slam. But still, you know, not really covered. It's pretty much just an Ice type user. Like it's never gonna use anything outside of Ice typing, almost ever, unless it's like a status move. And Sunroar, you know, good boots user, bulky, but like there's gonna be a lot more things that are gonna be able to break it. These things probably around 14 points. It's probably around 13 points. This would be around 12. Like strong, fast, but glass cannon. It's not the greatest glass cannon. Minior. Probably around 12. Like good shell smash user and can set up like multiple times possibly, depending on the opponent. And but it's like if they play around it well enough to like where you get multiple shell smash up on your like meteor form or on your like shielded form, like they know they can set up the Pokemon to live a hit and then just crack back, like because it's not the greatest of attack stats unbroken. Primarina good. Manabuzz probably around, like there's gonna be a lot of fat mons in here with recovery. They can be stallers. I think they're like not quite worth being up to like the 15 plus, but I think they're still very good to be like 13, 14. And Manabuzz is kind of like that. Ferrothorn too, like doesn't have necessarily good recovery, but it has okay recovery. Uxie, Azel, good to see them back actually. Mega Houndoom. I forget its ability. Solar power, so it's like it's something that'll do best maybe with a Sun team, and that kind of limits it a bit, but it would make it strong because it has a really good special attack stat. Mimikyu, Mimikyu is just really hard to break through a lot of stuff. You give it belly job and it might not break through stuff. The Rotom Heat and Rotom Wash, you know, I think they're probably around 13 points, like good, but like not gonna break through a ton, and they're mostly gonna be used for like bulk walls. And Infernape, you know, can do a few things. Stealth Rock's really good, but you know, frail and not quite the attack stat of Blaziken. So like it's faster than Blaziken, but if we're allowing speed boost Blaziken, which we probably are, it's gonna just clearly outclass it. So like we gotta keep it from around 13 points. Zergtree, really good. If it gets Tail Glow back, since it'll have Tail Glow back, that'll help it a lot. But it's still not fast enough, and it's not gonna have a Z to boost the speed. So it's still going to be just like, it's probably still best as like a Scarf or a Specs user. But you can Hypnosis, like Tail Glow to get like a couple of kills. Suicune Fat, but a little bit more to kind of handle it. Not perfectly, but you know, some stuff. These makes, by the way, so for this one, I'm kind of putting it here. I'm not sure if we're going to allow, like, you can make it at any time or if you have to make it your first turn out. I think if you allow it to be anytime, like it's 14, 15 points, just because Sharpedo can possibly be that sweeper if you kind of like play it a bit late. And I kind of prefer being able to give that option if we're allowing stuff like Ubers. Like, why restrict this when we're going to allow stuff like a lot more broken stuff? Mega Manetric, really strong, and but without, you know, hidden power, it kind of struggles to hit like ground types, honestly. Mega Sceptile, another Pokemon that kind of wants hidden power, just to hit things like, you know, steals, honestly. I think we are probably only going to allow like one version of Toxtricity, or not necessarily one allow, but like you drop the one, you can use either one, and this version doesn't really give, I think it's, I forget which one gives which, I think it's Amped that gives like, like the, what is it, the boosting move, but like, that's not really going to make much of a difference, so it'll probably just have to be, because it's not like this thing gets anything notable anyway. Hydreigon, like it's strong, but like most fairy types, like it struggles to break through. Like if they pack up a berry, you're probably not breaking through them even at +2 with a life orb. And then a lot of them can just bait it. Yeah, and it's also not fast enough. Like where it gets a nasty plot up, then a Scarf fighting type kills it. Yeah. I put some Weathermons down here just because like they're probably around 13, 14 points, some maybe 12. Like they're good, but they're not like, they don't need to be super high to like handicap a team, I think, if you want to go that route. Alolan Muck, as mentioned, you know, like I don't think Dark type gave it an additional weakness. Yeah, because I think Dark type is only weak to 3 things, and Poison type actually resists those 3 things, so that actually just works out perfect for it. Really bulky, not great enough attack stat though, but like it's pretty good utility. Ditto, I think I put Skarm and Corviknight in here. Where is Corviknight? Right here. Like they're good, but like they're not gonna like break through stuff, and they're not gonna like live through stuff that's gonna break through it. And they're just kind of there just for the defog, or in this case, in Skarmer's case, like rocks and spikes roll, and just kind of live a few hits. Actually put Scissor down here. It'll probably be around 14 to 15 points. It's not gonna break through enough. It's good, but it's not like gonna be good. You're not gonna run like Curse on it. And I don't remember if it gets SD. I think it gets SD, yeah. But like, it's not gonna. It's got some bulk, but it's not gonna be able to do enough to like live enough hits to like SD Bullet Punch. Um, and that's where like Mega Scizor is far better with like all Curse option because it can bulk its defense up more. Mega Aggron, very solid like Stealth Rock user. Honestly, like it has great attack stat and phenomenal defense stat. It kind of does what Mega Steelix can't in most cases, of like live a lot of hits, even specially, uh, and it can live multiple physical attacks really fat, so it can like heavy slam easier. Um, yeah, Slowking, fat. I think I put like Slowbro up higher, unless I see it over here. No, gonna live with good stuff. You might be surprised to see Gyarados here. It'll probably be on like up here 14 points. It's not gonna break through a ton. It'll maybe get a couple kills, but in a game maybe. But like regular Gyarados without, especially without Z move, doesn't do a whole lot. Especially when you allow more and more. I think I put Glacier over here. It's probably around 11 points. Fat, but decent attack stat and coverage, but not gonna do a whole lot in breakthrough stuff, sadly. Mega Heracross really strong, but not fast enough to really do anything with, even if you get like a Moxie boost. You know, Sun user, Hell user, Fairy, Water, Rain abuser, Mega Pidgeot. Good, but like doesn't have a good enough like move pool. It's pretty much just like 3 moves and U-turn. For special attacking, so it's like no guard only really helps with like, oh, you don't miss your heat wave and you don't miss your hurricane, which is cool, but like not really gonna do much past that. Like I forget if it even has hyper voice or not. I don't remember if it even gets a normal coverage move that like hits special attacking wise. Um uh Man, I haven't seen some of these Pokemon. I have to remember the names. Um Shroomis's evolution. Uh Good spore user, you know, can sub mock stuff, but not gonna break through like a lot of things. Like bulky ghost types really give it trouble, I'd say. And a lot of flying types, like if they just run like, if they can't be put to sleep, if a Pokemon can't be put to sleep, it's gonna break it. Or if it has infiltrators, it's gonna pretty much kill it. Regidrago strong, but if they have a fairy type, you have to break it before you can do anything. Like if their wall is like a steel type, you're not really worried because you can just like Spec Draco through them or Dragon Energy through them, and you'd be like, whoa, that's a 2 KO. In some cases, but you know, a fairy type shuts it down. Zarude, you know, not bad, kind of strong, but like not enough coverage to make use of anything. It doesn't have knockoff. Staraptor, solid nuke, but not enough coverage. But you know, could be a very value pick. Bulky and Snorlax is great. You know, if it has return and everything, fantastic. Chansey, I think I put Blissey down here. They'd probably be like 1 point from each other, and or maybe the same tier. A lot of people kind of look at Blissey as better because it can use like heavy duty boost and stuff. But I feel like in draft, it's a lot easier to prepare for rock and stuff that you don't really have to worry too much about it, or for hazards in general. You know, Luteria, fat and can kind of like wall stuff and kind of set up moves. It has enough coverage to make use of its upgraded sets. But yeah, being Fairy Dragon, like gaining Fairy types doesn't really like it makes it a Dragon immunity, but you're still gonna be weak to Fairy, and you gain a Steel weakness, which you don't hit super well back unless they're like something you're faster than that's like double weak to fire, like Scissor. But even then, Scissor is like Bullet Punch. Mega Venu is like really good. Regieleki, if it doesn't have hidden power, and we don't even allow hidden power, so like ground types give it a big weakness. But it's still very fast. It can be a screens user and a spinner. Mega Chomp. I mean, it's there. It's there. It's value, I guess. So if we're allowing Klinger Soul, I think this could be around 17, 18 points, which I think we will allow it. Like it doesn't make it broken. Like some people want to think it's going to be broken, but like, I mean, just about like I said about Hydreigon, like any fairy type's pretty much gonna shut this down. Don't matter. Like it's not Klinger Soul isn't even usually the biggest worry with the thing. It's usually like body what's it called? Belly drum. Peck's probably like really just fat. Gonna live a lot of hits. You know, probably around the mid like 16 points, maybe 15 if it's like gonna be a little lower. Manaphy being here, it'll probably be like 17 points or so because the tail glow's just that damn good. Um, anyone of note come back? A lot of people like to put Keldeo very low. I'm probably thinking it'll be like 16 points or so, maybe 15. Like it's still kind of like can be a threat in a lot of matchups. You just have to like if you draft a very bulky water type that it can't break through, then sure, it's not gonna do really much. But not everyone's gonna have that, and it's kind of like could be value. Spectrier, you know, if they have a normal type, it's really not gonna do a whole lot. So that just comes down to matchup based. Serperior, pretty fucking annoying. Like, I honestly, if we were gonna ban a move, I almost want Glare banned. Like, Glare, I think, could be a bannable move. How bullshit it is half the time. We're probably gonna allow Type Null to. Sorry, no. Why am I forgetting this Pokemon's name? It's not Type Null, it's Savali. We're gonna probably allow it to be multiple types, so it'll probably be close down to like 15, maybe 14 points. Like 15 points might be a bit too high. Necrozma, Darmanitan, and then Glaring Darmanitan without the ability. I mean, we'll probably just allow one Glaring Darmanitan, but if we separate them, which I'm not really for, this would probably be down here. Mega Fencer, really good. Like he can be, you know, a feint or a quick attack. Feint if you want to go past like one priority. Like you give up like 10 base power or so, like 12 after like the boost. But like it gets like that extra priority, which can kill stuff, especially after an SD. And I think it can maybe run Curse. I'm not certain. The Mega Gyarados far better than regular Gyarados. It can actually be like if you allow to, you know, set up before and stuff, you can maybe like keep alive for like a fighting type. You know, you can maybe bait them out into going for like a fighting type move if they predict Mega Evolution on one turn, like to like live like you know like a Thunder Punch, and then you don't evolve, and then like all of a sudden you're boosted. Mega Pert, really good with water, like insane. Mega Gardevoir, not too fast, but very strong. Mega Aerodactyl gets, I think, a lot better with Dual Wing Beat, which I believe it got, because now it gets Soft Claws boost, which now makes it like over 100 base power, which is really good with it. Mega Beedrill, I don't think it got anything. I don't think Beedrill's in this gen, so it doesn't really get anything, but still very fast, very strong. Mega T-Tar. Like I think I put T-Tar up here too. Like I think I put regular T-Tar up here. But yeah, but like just you know that extra bulk, the fact that if you're in a weather war, you can, if you're like slower than them or if you're faster than them, they get their weather up. You can make it to reset the weather, which is really good, especially against something like Charizard Y. Because then you can like possibly live a Focus Blast with the investment. Put Dougie up here because if we're allowing a Arena Trap, which we should, it'll be very good. Not like super good, but pretty good. Feeny, you know, fat as usual. Bulu, without hidden power, it actually makes it far better because now your opponent can't just hidden power poison, which like I drafted it in season 1 and I was like, oh sweet, Papa Bulu, which was a menace on the ladder. But like in draft, everyone can just be like, oh, I'm gonna run hidden power poison, so I dropped it after like 2 games because I just couldn't really do anything. But yeah, without hidden power, it makes it harder to like kind of wall this thing or to check it. I mean. Mega Metagross, you know, very, very strong. Meteor Mash gets just that R energy sometimes. Lele, it does not have, you know, the Psychic Terrain boosted move, but still very strong. Not quite the coverage that it does, so probably around 16 points, but still very strong. against a team that doesn't have a good switching. Mega Scissor, as mentioned before, it can be a curse roost user, which I've used before. It's very bulky, very strong, and can make like use of its priority because you don't care about the speed sometimes. So I put Rapid Strike down here, probably around 17 points. Like still very good, crits and stuff. Hard to switch into, but with more water types that can like kind of wall physical a bit easier. It's not gonna like if you draft like Mega Slowbro, it just walls. It walls. Actually, Mega Slowbro would be fire versus Urshifu Rapid Urshifu Single. I actually want to calculate how much max defense does against like Banded because it can't crit. Then the Charizards, they both kind of do their thing. Very good, but also checkable. Yeah, so I put, okay, so I wasn't sure if we were putting Return or Frustration. I still put it up here, but with Return and Frustration, Tapu, Mega Lopunny would probably be around 17 points, maybe 18. Alright, so we're going to go Urshifu and Slowbro. Where's Mega? Let's put max defense. Wicked Blow can be a 2KO from Choice Bandit. Can be. That's funny. Like how strong Rapid or Single Strike is, that Shell Armor doesn't do enough. Yeah. But that's funny. Shell Armor is just like, haha. So if you're not Choice Banded, you can't kill me with the 2KO, and I can just stall you, and I can. Funny thing about that is, like, if they get like a Iron Defense up, you just don't beat it. Like, boom, Iron Defense. You cannot kill even with a Choice Band, even if you're out of it. I love Mega Slowbro. It was one of my favorite Megas. Heatran, you can now run like Timid or Modest and have Eruption, which is really cool. I ran that a lot on Natdex when Natdex first started out, and I was using it. It was real fun. Dragapult probably could be around 18, 17. It's kind of iffy. Mega Metacham, I kind of put it up here. It'll probably be around 18, 19. Very strong, decent enough speed. Really hard to switch into in most cases, even if you have a ghost type, because they have, I forget if they have knockoff, I think they do, and then of course psychic will kind of hit most. Mega Mawile, probably around 19 points, maybe 18 on the low side. Hard to switch into, like it's not fast, but bulky enough and strong enough, like if it gets an SC up, Sucker Punch kills a lot of things. Mega Diancie, very strong. So you might be wondering like why Mega Blastoise is up here. It got banned from Natdex OU because of Shell Smash. Shell Smash was insanely good with it. It kind of made it broken because it's so bulky and very, very strong. Alakazam has Nasty Plot now, so that makes it good. Cinderace, I put it up here probably around 18, 19. With its basically not torrent, whatever hell its move, it's like protein. Works, kind of. I think you only allow this one and not like Blaze also. Like, just keep it at 1. Metal probably around 18, could be 17. Urshifu kind of like 18, I think also. Do the same. Magirna I think is about 19. This is about 18. Regular Greninja with like protein would probably be around 18 points. The Mega Lotties I think are 19. Like they're very, very bulky. Like even without investment, like let me just show you how good a uninvested Mega Lottie is versus a regular Lottie with like max investments. Like obviously a Scarf or Specs or a Banded would out like stat them, but Mega Latios, 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 and Latios. Alright, so we're gonna boop. We're just gonna put Max and Max. Oh, we'll actually put Max and here, and we'll just. This isn't a normal spread you'd see, but just kind of to show like the bulk. All right, so Latios with its max, let's say modest max special attack, right? 350 invested. Latios 316 with no investment at neutral nature, and Latios, right? Invested max special defense 359, 336, 216, or if you go max investment 279, 276 without a single bit of investment. So the change in difference between these two stat wise is like insane. Like Latios, you could probably go like max SpDef speed or max SpDef max defense and then run like a combined and secret power. Oh, it doesn't get secret power. Maybe Latios does, but combine something, and like it abuses that so well. And then Latios, right? Max special attack, modest, 394, 356 without any investment. Like non-modest is 359, and then this is 356. It barely misses it without investment. And then of course, like right, look at 10 more SpDef, which kind of makes a difference. And then of course the 20 more defense definitely makes a difference. It's not as bulky as regular Latios is, but you know that big times special attack boost really kind of like means like, hey, it's really hard to like deal with. But and of course it also gets Mystical Fire now, which is great because it doesn't get hidden power. Alright, enough about the Lotties. Naganadel, probably around 19 points. Really nasty plot user. Good typing. Fire moves. Yeah, not much to say about it weakness wise. It could be 20 points even. Hoopa, you know, probably around 18, 19. Same for this, same for this, same for this. This could be 18, could be 17, honestly. Mega Blaziken, probably around 19, 20. Very fast. It'll definitely be more points than regular Blaziken. But regular Blaziken will have, you know, some reasons for usage. Regular Orlando, probably 18, 17. Dracovish, I think, is worth 19. I think putting it lower than that's a bit risky. Like, of course, you know, like, hey, your opponent has something faster than it, then yeah, but if you get it in on something that's faster than, they're usually sacking something, like what's out there, or they switch into it and it's hard. Like, it causes kills, even if it's not going to be faster than everything. Just forcing them out can cause kills. Mega Kingscon is kind of like the iffy thing, because like some people were saying, maybe ban Seismic Toss from it, but I don't really like complex bans like that. I think allow it on and maybe make it 19, 20 points. Like obviously double Seismic Toss is kind of freaking strong, but there's gonna be a lot of strong things. Gotta remember that. Glaring Darmanitan, probably around 19, 20. Gorilla Tax is just that damn good. You can run Bandit to make its attack stat just ginormous, and make it really hard to switch into, if anything, even just on a U-turn. Or Scarf, it just means like it's gonna be faster than just about everything and still be hard to switch into. Shadow Tag from this, probably around 18, just because it could be a good setup mon, but like if they prep around it, it makes it hard. Victini could be 17, but I think it's 18 is fine just because of how strong its, you know, V-Create is. Like, I think it's definitely top. The Deoxyses are a bit rough to kind of like tier. I think Deoxys speed is fine at 20. Like, it's not super strong, but it's an insanely good like setup, like spike and rocks and stuff user, and screens. I think it has with its speed because it's like the fastest thing. Or actually, I think it's actually slower now, Deoxys speed, than Regieleki. His Regieleki is 200, and this is 180. Yeah, so Regieleki is a little bit faster. It is no longer the fastest fucking thing, or one of the top. I don't remember how fast should it Ninja Bug. I am Ninjask. Yeah, so it's even faster than Ninjask. Still, although it does get speed boost. Blah blah blah. Zamazenta Crowned. I'm fine with like letting it in. I think it's probably around 18 points. Like strong, very bulky, like very bulky. Like it makes up for not having speed, and it's really hard to like switch into in some cases because of its coverage. It can't run everything at once, but it can still be a bit of a menace in some teams. Greninja, Ash Greninja, if it's allowed, which I think it's allowed in Natdex, I think. Probably around 19 points. You know, gets a kill, which is still, because Greninja's still kind of strong, regular Greninja. You know, becomes Ash for the whole battle, and that can be a pain to switch into. Chompo, probably around 18. Could be 17. Sleepy Boy, not as like accurate anymore, so people actually just use like Hypnosis now. In most cases, I think. I think occasionally they use Dark Void for whatever reason. Blaziken, you know, probably around 18 to 19, depending on where Mega is. Very fast. Back in Gen 6 Ubers, I would actually run like a Will-O-Wisp subset. So like I could Wisp like physical attackers that weren't able to like heal Bell or anything, which was great, and could also hit it on Xerneas, and then I would just stall out a Xerneas. It was so funny, just like protect sub leftovers, like on a like they geomancy up, you protect twice, and you're like, oh, you're faster than them. They can't kill you, and now you just saw them. It was funny, and then you just put Hanpass out afterwards into like an RTS. Wobbuffet, it's kind of like 18 points, I think. Shadow Tag's good, but like yeah. Necrozma Dawnwings might not be one a lot of people put in. Like I think Shadow, I don't know where Shadow had it, if he even allowed it. He did not, but I think like it's not very fast, and it's not the greatest of setup mons. It's a lot easier to hit, being dual weak to like Ghost and Dark, versus say Psychic and Steel is. And it's like it's strong, but it's not super fast, not bulky enough to like live enough hits. So I think it's fine being like an 18, 19 point user. Mega Immense, definitely a 19 to 20 point user. Aerial 8 second, and Mew kind of up there too. And then here's the ones we gotta vote on. Alright. Mewtwo, I think it's actually fine at about 20 points, maybe 19. I think it's fine just because like it's strong, it's fast, but it's not gonna actually break through everything. And it's gonna be like, I forget actually how bulky Mewtwo is. Like 90, 106 is good, but it's not gonna be enough to break through everything. It's something that'll probably get banned, but I think it's worth putting up for debate. Rayquaza, some people were talking about it because it is, dual weak to Ice, and Fairy and Dragon still hit it, and it's not too fast, but it can still be a good Dragon Dance user, which I think people forget. So like I think it's worth being banned. Most box legenders I think are ban worthy. Regular Deoxys, like honestly, it's just like a little bit weaker than Deoxys attack, I think. Because like if we look at Deoxys attack, because Deoxys attack is 180 versus 150, then it's like less bulky, but like no one really cares about that. So, and then they're the same speed, but like it's still insanely good attack stat that I'm like probably ban it, but it's gonna die to most priority. Deoxys defense I think is fine at about 19 points, maybe 20, but it's certainly something that I think is like worthy of letting in. Like it's probably the ultimate stall mon, but it's gonna cost you a lot. Zygarde complete. Still Zygarde, so like quad weak to ice, and it's gonna struggle to break through a lot of grass types and such. And unless you're like being sub toxic, it's not gonna break through a ton. uh, of things that are like gonna wallet. And then regular Zamazenta is up for the debate just because, like, right, it can run things like a choice band or a regular item like leftovers or something. So that one's kind of up for it. And then, of course, we have, Dunsparce. We've banned it before, but it's pretty broken. But, with a lot more broken mons, maybe allow it. And then save with the Stunfisks. But yeah. Then, of course, for the bans, for sure, we're going to basically go most of these box legendaries. I was even thinking maybe Groudon, but I'm like, Groudon's probably too much. Save for Dialga. Palkia, definitely too much. Some people were like talking about, like, what about RCS Bug and this and that? I'm like, I think it's better just leave all RCS forms out. To be honest, like in some matchups, like it could just destroy. The Giratinas, I think, leave out. Deoxys attack. The Kyurem, Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem White. Yeah, those are. I think I've heard people before try to maybe say Reshiram is fine. I'm like, no, it's not. Unless you have like a fairy, like water type, like nothing's really a good switch into it. Because it's still insane, like Specs, Draco. Oh, you come in with me on you can't switch into a Steel type because of fire types, and you can't switch into Fairy types because of fire type, and you can't switch into Water type because of Dragon type. Uh, you don't really gotta worry about these. Marshadow is one people were talking about, but I'm like, honestly, Marshadow's probably a no because it just means you can't run setup at all versus an opponent, and that's, I don't think, a good play style. To just be like negate one strategy. Negate an entire strategy because this Pokemon has one fucking move. I don't care if it's 20 points. Like, no. Like, even without that move, it's still very strong. Some people were even talking about Eternatus. I'm like, I think Eternatus is still a bit too bulky. It has recovery. Like, I think it's a bit too much. The Zacians, I think, yeah, too much. Mega Gengar, it's like the best Shadow Trapper. And maybe too good of one, especially with Nasty Plot now. The Primals, yeah. Mega Arrow, yeah. And the Mega Mewtwo's for sure. Like, if Mewtwo is already up in the air, Mega Mewtwo's are no. Yeah. So let's take a look at chat. He said not to like make too fun of it, but let's just look at it. He put Kyurem at black at like 20. I'm like, Kyurem black's a bit too much. Even at Magearna at 20. Like, some of these, I'm like, why are these at 20? Yeah, it's 19. That's good. That's probably a good place for that. I think Cinderace could be at 18. I think Deoxys speed goes up to 19. Same for Gorilla Tactics here. I think Slash is probably around here, honestly. It's not as good as it used to be. Tapu's, yeah, these ones go down, I think, at least one tier. Same for that. Did he not put Megalodis anywhere? Did he ban them? Where are the Megalodis? Oh, they're right here. Yeah, that's about right. Torn, I think, is not 17. And I don't think Zygarde either. Oh, Deoxys. People were talking about Deoxys defense getting banned. What the fuck? Oh yeah, we're far different with this guy. I think 17 is far too high for him. I mean, I'd probably put him too low. I definitely think I could put him on like here, but like, yeah. I'll probably just say that was a mistake. No one watched the video. Regulars. Oh yeah, he separated some stuff because of like, hey, if something gets banned, I'm like, don't ban individual moves on a Pokemon. Like, it's fine if they're higher tier. We need some Pokemon to be very high tier, actually. A lot of these seem fine. I think Scissor could be up here, maybe. Metachamp definitely up here. Same for Diancie. That's about right. Hoopa Unbound I think is higher. Just too strong. Same for Zard. And Mega Gara. He wants to put Kel down here. At least one tier higher, bro. At least 1 point higher. Darn, at 13. Like, what? It's still very good, even with more Pokemon. Like, it's going to be a strong Pokemon that can break through stuff. And I think Glacier at 13 is too high. I think it's 11. Torrent Grand at 12 seems about right. But again, I think if we allow regular Grand, which should sound like we're going to allow regular and Ash, then, like, it's fine to not really worry about it. Just to be like, we're going to give another water. Like, we got enough water type Pokemon. You don't need to add another water type Pokemon. There's too many water types. As is. I mean, his isn't like. I think I made like the mistake of putting Mega. No, Gallade. Which one's the ice type? Which one's the fighting type? Because I always mix up the names. Gallade and. Glalie. Okay, yeah. So Gallade. I can't believe I just did that. Yeah, I think I put Mega Gallade too low. Where did I put him? I think I put him over here. Yeah, I'd probably just toss him up there just because he's too high of an attack stat and speed. Yeah, I don't know why I put him there. But yeah, other than that, I think our tier lists aren't too far different. Oh, what's? I think this thing could be a bit lower. Ooh, Regieleki. Like I know it can be walled by stuff, but again, if you get rid of a ground type, Regieleki is like too good. Also, again, Shadow is playing this season where I'm not, so he might have a bit too much into the game, into investing into the game. Then we just kind of put like some garbage Pokemon, just as a reminder of some stuff. A lot of the 1 points are like nothing. Same for the 2 and the 3s. Then he put some Pokemon in 4 that I'm like, I think that's a bit high for some of these. But yeah, so we're gonna probably be finishing up tier lists within a week, and then hopefully get to doing a draft within the next month. I'm not sure if it has to be a live draft or if we can do our normal style. Our normal style is like give them several days to kind of work on it, and just have it be gradual because not everyone is able to be live. Because we're not all YouTubers or nothing. I mean, I'm not drafting, but like still, it's important for people to be able to be access to it. But yeah, let me know how this looks. What you would change. Tell me why I put Gallade down in like Mega Gallade down in 10 to 7. That was stupid. But yeah, I'll be getting out of here. I need to go get some sleep. Have a good night.